welcome back. It's time for a new video. I have a new project. It is a 2006 Ford Fiesta with just 130,000 kilometers on it. But I reckon that those 130,000 kilometers have all been done on dirt roads, because this thing is completely filthy underneath and inside. And I reckon it has some inner beauty and it has a lot more life left in it. So let's not muck around, let's check this thing over, make a bit of a list and see how nasty it is and get stuck into cleaning it up. Straight away you can see the paint on this vehicle is actually in pretty good condition. It's got a few little dents and bruises on it, but nothing major. The worst one's actually in the tailgate here, and hopefully we can pop that out without too much damage left over. As you can see, it's missing all the hubcaps and, you know, all the plastic trim and everything's looking pretty horrible. And the headlights are quite yellowed out as well. The guy said that he tried to clean it, but as you can see, it's definitely done some country kilometers, because those bugs are, they're baked on. They've had, you know, 40 plus degrees of Australian sun baking them on for a few years. So that's going to take a bit of work to get off, and as you can see, there's a few little bumps and scrapes, but in general it's pretty good. Underneath in the wheel arches you can see it's been on dirt roads. Don't know if I'm going to be able to see, but underneath there's one small oil leak, but in general it just looks like it's been down dirt roads and everything's pretty clean. The inside, as you can see, has suffered a terrible fate of not being cleaned for years. It's got horrible dust and grime everywhere. It's not the worst that I've seen. There's a few broken bits of trim, but in general pretty good with just 130,000 kilometers on it. Most of the functions appear to work, other than the radio code. I reckon someone's also done some sort of ghetto mod to the exhaust, because it sounds like a World Rally car for some reason. Give it a rev up. I reckon Colin McRae would be pretty impressed. There's actually no service history that goes with this vehicle, other than a service sticker that's sitting on the window there, which is actually worn off from the sun. But as you can see, the engine bay's probably never had a clean in its entire life. The good thing is that if we look in there, that coolant actually looks really good. So I don't think there's any damage in there. Don't know about the brake fluid. Let's see if we can get in there. Oh, it looks pretty clean in there actually. It looks actually like it's probably been changed at some point. We'll have a look at the brake pads shortly, and power steering. Again, it's full. It looks pretty good in there. The oil, I did have a quick look at before, just looks like it's dirty, but it's not been using any, so that's also a good thing. So I reckon a good service, look over a few things. As you can see, there's just a bit of oil in the breather there. We're missing a windscreen washer cap, but in general everything actually looks pretty clean under the dirt. Typical cloth trim. It's got some horrible stains. Hopefully that's not bodily fluid. You can see all the grime that's inside, all of the little crevices. I don't know how people leave their cars like this. It makes me feel sick, but at the same time, I get so much satisfaction out of cleaning cars up like this and then making them look brand new. The good thing is, it actually doesn't smell in here at all. It actually smells relatively fresh. Someone's had an air freshener in here at some point, and it's not too bad. degrease and pressure wash, and the engine bay almost looks brand new. Looks like that dust did a pretty good job of preserving everything in the engine bay. Alright, let's get started on the rest of it. Just checking over some of the service related components because there's no history on this vehicle. And the accessories belt down there, or alternator belt, water pump belt, whatever you want to call it, is definitely cracked and needs replacing. The power steering belt back there as well. And I thought, well, I think we should be looking at the timing belt while we're at it. So I thought I'll just peel this cover back. It's quite hard to actually get all the way back there, but if you can see in there, it's actually definitely hasn't been replaced at 100,000 kilometers, which would have been probably its interval. And I reckon that it's time to put one of them on it as well. All right, let's see if we can get all of this filth out of the carpets and just see if we can get something to clean up all of that grime around all of the gear knob and handbrake and in all of these little seat bolts and everything. Might even pull the seats out to get all that rubbish down there out, and see if we can start making it look pretty clean inside. Is looking pretty good now. Might run a wet back over it once I put all the seats and everything back in and give it a final once over. But now it's time to start on all of the interior trim. As you can see, there's loads of dust just built up on everything from being down dirt roads. So the interior console and trims are starting to look nice and clean now. All I've been doing is spraying them with a actual carpet cleaner. It's slightly diluted with water, probably about 50-50, and then using a soft bristle brush to just get in all of the little grooves and bits and pieces to get all the grime out, and then actually just wiping it all down with a towel, which you can see is absolutely filthy now. So what I've got now is some interior cleaning, protecting, detailing stuff, and I'm going to use that for the dash. I didn't want to use the same interior carpet cleaner for the dash because it's a bit aggressive, and it can take off some of the logos and little signals and things like that on the indicator stalks. So hopefully this will do a good enough job to detail all this and make it all look brand new. The trim's starting to look pretty neat now. Still needs another once over on the carpet, but it's starting to look almost brand new again. Alright, it's been washed. Interior glass has had a quick clean, and we can actually see the condition of the paintwork's actually quite good. There is absolutely no fade or anything like that on it, which is really good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run a cutting pad over it with some polish, and it is going to shine up like crazy, I reckon, just after a quick polish. We'll also attack the headlights. I reckon that they're going to come up and look absolutely brand new, because they are looking horrid right now, but by the time I'm done, it'll look like brand new. I went over both the headlights with a cutting pad on a circular buff and with some raw polish, and it's actually made the headlights look a lot better. But as you can see, the bottom part of the headlights actually got it's a bit rough, but the Australian sun has just totally cooked it. And then I think the combination of the sun plus not being washed and the bugs being baked on there, it's just got this horrible, it's actually like you can feel it's raised up or set back, and that section there just won't come out with a buff. So what I did was I went on this side here, and I started with a 1000 grit wet sand, and I actually basically just went over the bottom section of the headlight there with 1000, and rubbed that all back, and then hit it with 2000, and then hit it with the buffing pad again on the orbital, and it is looking pretty good. I wouldn't say it's brand new, but you know what, that's not bad for a 15-year-old vehicle. While I've got the seats out, I think it's a good opportunity to wet vac them and give all the edges a good hose off to get rid of all the grime that's hanging around down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the whole thing with a bit of the carpet cleaner, go around all the edges with the brush, and then I might agitate the actual cushion itself with my drill with the bristles on that, and wet vac it out and just see if we can make it look pretty brand new again. Alright, all of the detailing and cleaning is pretty much done now, and you can see it is nice and shiny like the day it came out of the factory. There's still that little dent there that I'm going to need to take care of. I just need to find some hubcaps too. I can't seem to find original ones. I'll pick up some new tyres too, because these rear tyres are definitely at the end of their life. Front ones are fine, and the interior is almost like the day it came out of the factory now. So there's still a little bit of moisture on the driver's seat and passenger seat from wet backing, but I also wet backed the carpet, and I'll probably give that one more dry vac once we're all done. And yeah, it's pretty much ready for some service work now. When I got this car, it was flashing up that there was no radio code on the head unit. That's a real pain in the ass. So did a little bit of research online, and it said that you could hold down some buttons and find a serial number, look up online. I wasn't able to do that. For some reason, I can't seem to get this serial number to pop up like people say it does. So I've now pulled the head unit out. I actually ended up making a tool rather than ordering one online to save time, in order to pop the little clips out. And now hopefully I can see if there's a serial number on here and then look up the code online. All right, success. On the side here, we have a serial number, which hopefully now we'll be able to pop in. Obviously it's telling me right now that I have to wait another 15 minutes until I can pop another code in, because I tried one that I found online, didn't work. So hopefully now I can go onto one of these code generators and get a new code for that serial, pop it in, and hopefully we'll have a radio again. Alright, so I use a little app from the App Store. It cost me about $3 Australian, and put my serial number in, and I've got a code now. So I'm going to give it a go and see if we can get this radio to work. 71, oops, I've gone past it. 710-3, and let's see if it works. Whoa! Look at that, it's working. Fantastic. Another job ticked off. We can click that back in. Boom, done. So 2 of the tyres were totally buggered on this thing. As you can see, there's actually cracks in the outer edges because they're too old. And they're definitely on the wear bars. So what I've got here is 2 brand new 195/50/15 tyres. I'm going to get them fitted up. Got the old belt off here, and as you can see, it's actually in like really good condition. There's actually no problems with it, but I'm kind of glad that we're doing this anyway, because it is past its interval where it should be done in terms of time. It's not actually past it in terms of kilometers, but it's definitely a good investment for a vehicle like this that's been around. So we've got a brand new belt on there now anyway, and we'll just whip it back together and check it all runs fine. Alright, this is the air filter box, which for some reason Ford thought it was a great idea to make it the least efficient way to change an air filter. So you got to undo all these screws and everything. Let's have a look at what's in here. Definitely doesn't look nice and clean. There's plenty of dirt in there. Filter's probably not as bad as I expected it to be, but it's definitely gonna love some fresh air when we put a fresh filter on it. So we'll give this a good hose out and get rid of all that crap out of there and put a fresh one in it. Pulled the old plugs out, and they definitely don't look like they've been changed anytime recently, so cheap insurance put some brand new NGKs in there. Alright, engine is all back together. Turned it over by hand. Everything else looks pretty good. I'll just fire it up, make sure it starts as it should with fresh plugs and timing belt. Here we go. Look at that. Awesome. Alright, we'll do a quick oil change, top it up with coolant.
put a heap of hours into this thing and it is looking absolutely mint now compared to what it was before. Let's have a quick look over it. And fortunately it's not very shiny in the dull sky that we've got at the moment, but it looks absolutely mint in sunlight. So it's got brand new tyres on the front. The rear tyres are basically brand new anyway. Some brand new hubcaps. Whole thing's had a nice cut and polish, and I've knocked most of the dent out of that just to make it look a little bit better. Other than that, all the trims and everything have been oiled up so that they look a little bit better, and the interior looks absolutely awesome compared to what it did. It had done a whole bunch of work down dirt roads and everything. I've vacuumed all of them out and wet vacuumed them, and most of the stains have come out. Unfortunately there's a few bits of broken trim still. I got the radio working, and it has had some fresh service work too. We'll have a look in the engine bay. In the engine bay, everything's looking pretty tidy now. It's had a full pressure wash, new spark plugs, new oil filter, new timing belt's just been done, some fresh coolant, and air filter has also been done. And look at these headlights, they look absolutely mint compared to what they were before. You couldn't even see out of them. So now it looks like it pretty much came out of the showroom yesterday, apart from a few of the little bits and pieces. But other than that, this thing's ready to go. It'll do another 100,000 Ks, that's for sure. Here we go, first test drive. Drives pretty good actually. Gears all feel pretty good, there's no notchiness, no problems with the synchros. The suspension appears to be pretty smooth, there doesn't appear to be any knocks or creaking or anything like that, so pretty happy with that. These roads here are pretty rough though. A lot of them are bricks, so it does make a bit of noise through the tyres, but it's pretty good for a vehicle of this type. The steering feels pretty smooth too. This thing is actually pretty fun to drive. For a little car, not too bad. I can see why the European countries really do like these tiny little 1.6 litre engines, because they are super efficient, they've got really good torque, and they're actually very reliable. Well, that concludes the video on the Fiesta. It is looking super clean now, and I think it's going to last another 130,000 kilometers. Hopefully the next owner doesn't neglect it as bad as the last one did. Join me next time and let me see if I can find some more content to keep you guys interested.